Hey everyone, Randy here from Eternal Stellar Games, and we're back again in Perforce, and now we are going over how to actually really use it. So, I've already got my server open, and I'm on a local host server right now. So, we need to go to this workspace right here. So, let's go ahead and open up our file browser, and we're going to look for users. Windows C, users, user. Original names, go down to Perforce, and this is our workspace right here. So now let's go ahead and try and edit this. So we are editing this. I can spell, don't worry about it. Go ahead and save it. If you try and save it, replace it, and this is when you run into an issue. Test document. This file is set to read only. So what this means is that it is actually, when it's in this workspace, it's protecting it and making it read only. And the purpose of that is so that you don't accidentally edit things and just submit them. So what we're going to do here is what we actually need to do is click on it, hit checkout. We're just going to leave it default, changeless description. I'm not going to put one. Hit OK. And what you could see here now is there's a little red check mark, and that's just notifying us that we have it checked out. Now, if you go to our depot, you could see on the depot it's checked out. And if you go to the admin and you go to refresh, it doesn't show it. Or it does show it, but you have to hover over it and you see checked out, or the green check mark shows it, checked out. And so what this means now then is that no other user can edit this file while I'm editing it. So now, let us go back. We're gonna say we are editing this. Gonna go ahead and save it. I saved it. Double check that my work. It is saved. Okay. So now I'm like, okay, I want to submit this to the server. I want this to be the official version now. So now what we can do, so we can see, we can hit click on it, hit submit, and it's going to ask you to write a changeless description. So we made a change. And it's going to ask you, what do you want to submit? So now we can hit save. And let's say we don't want to submit it yet. Or we can go to it and hit submit. Submit it. And boom. And now it is no longer checked out, so anyone can edit it. And down the log here, you could see one file edited, submitted. Perfect. And if we go over here, we can see there's now been 2 versions that have been made of this. And if we go over to this rev graph, what we can see here is we can see the 2 versions that have been made here. And in case you make a mistake, you can go back and revert the version to which there was not a mistake on. And there are features of that. You know, there's branching and merging. There is that in like every other source control. But I like Perforce's version a lot with it, honestly, because it's so visual and you can see all the different, snake bits going on through here, which is really nice. So now we look on here, it's still being edited, but how do we add something to it now? All right. So we go ahead and get latest. So let's go back to our workspace folder and let's go ahead and we're going to create a new text document. We're just going to call it a doc. You know what? We're going to call it duck. All right. And then in it, we're just going to say this is a duck. All right. Save it. Keep this open. And now go ahead and refresh this. But now we see it in our workspace. And that's exactly what we want. But you can hover over it, and you see it says it's not in the depot. And we can double check that. Look at the depot, refresh, it's not there. And all this get latest button does, if you're curious, is it just calls to the server, wherever the server may be, and asks for the latest, whether you're in the depot or in the workspace. Because all this depot is you're just viewing it from your P4V client. So now we can go to workspace. We can click on this, and we can see that this one says checkout or delete, and this one just says add because it's not on the server yet. So go ahead, hit add. We're not going to add anything. We're not going to put any unless you want to. Hit OK. We see one file opened for add, and it puts a little red plus check mark. Marked for add and default change list. Perfect. Files, this is stuff we're messing with. You can go to pending. Go on this drop down. This is a little search thing too that's really nice. Go ahead, right click on it. Go ahead and submit. We added a duck. Go ahead, submit. And now we have a green, up-to-date, latest revision. And it's both in each of these. Perfect. Let's go over to our P4 admin. Double check that we see this. You can go ahead and right click and hit refresh. And boom, there it is. Perfect. That is exactly what we want. And in the P4 admin, you can also see the file history. You can also see that's the depot history. Go ahead, right click. No, you can't see the file history. Revision graph. There it is, just like we could see there. And you can change all of this from the admin space, just like this. The only thing you can't really do in the admin space is add things to the depot. You can delete, you can change revisions, but you can't really add stuff to it. So that's one of the key here. And it's really more for the administrative piece of monitoring and managing the depots and the users, not actually doing the work. So now we can go back, and let's say we want to delete test document. You guessed it. Go mark for delete. It marks it for delete. Go ahead, and it removes it from our workspace. But if we go to the depot, it's still in the depot. However, in the depot, we can see someone wants to delete it. Mark for delete and default change list. Now, let's go here and let's see if we see it. Refresh, and you can see it here. Marked for delete, and it will say by who over here and on here, which is a great feature. So we're going to go back, and now what we could do is submit, delete this, go ahead, and ta-da. Awesome. So now it's gone. We can check. Is it gone? Well, not exactly. It's deleted on the local workspace, and if we pull down the depot, get latest, it's not there anymore, at least from the user point of view. But if you go to the administrative point of view, it's still there, as you can see. So, the purpose of this is if you want to restore it, and that is a great feature of this as well. So if you wanted to, you could restore it. Alright everyone, I'm back. I mistook myself earlier. You cannot actually undo changes within the depot on the administrative side. You can only see that it's happened. In order to actually change it, you must go back to P4V and either undo a deletion or a revision. You can only view it in administrative mode, or you can obliterate it from the depot in administrative mode. Otherwise there is no middle ground. But I think that's all I wanted to show you guys here today. I showed you the rev graph. All right, so I want to show you the difference, the diff against files. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is going to go ahead and check this out. We're going to go back to our folder, go ahead in here and just add, this is a duck, this is a blah, blah, blah. Does not matter. All right, perfect. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, submit that, submit, whatever you want to call it. So now we have 4 different versions. We go to the rev graph, we can see all the different versions we have. So go ahead, not rev graph, diff, specify latest revision, and specify version 3. So go ahead, pull them up, and you can see this is version 3 on the right, version 4 on the left, which is the latest version, and it actually shows you what the difference is. Now this is super helpful when it comes to coding files. Now obviously if you have binary files, this is pretty useless, but if you're doing software development and coding in C++ or something, this is very helpful. You can even specify line numbers and all that. So I definitely use this. Now I will say the one downside to Perforce's software is it does have a high learning curve compared to something that's simple like GitHub. However, it allows you to work with more people a lot more fluidly, and it is just a better baseline and a lot more scalable compared to something like GitHub. And there's one other feature I would like to show you. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to create another document. I'm just going to call it dog, or that, But what we could do here in the workspace is right click and hit reconcile offline work. And so what this does is it looks at the folder you right click that on, and it looks and sees if you modified anything within it, even because you can go in here and right click on this and change the properties from read only to write. So you could actually change something and get around that. You could also add things. You could also delete things. And so what this says is it's showing you what files you've changed, what files you wanted to add, and what files you wanted to delete offline. And then you can also apply a P4 ignore, which ignores certain files if you want to, like in Unreal Engine. So go ahead and reconcile, and it'll see nothing's changed here, but oh, we need to add this. So you can go ahead and submit, and boom, there we go. We just reconciled our offline work. Perfect. Now, I did mention the P4 ignore. The P4 ignore is very useful, and if you want me to show you how to set it, I can. Specifically with Unreal Engine, there's certain files that are just unnecessary to upload to the depot, but aren't a bad thing to do. But just let me know, and if you want to see that, I can show you that. But otherwise go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you thought about this. If you need any more help with this, just let me know. I'm happy to help. Go ahead and join our Discord to stay up to date on the game and what we're doing. And we will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Randy out. Peace.